No final burning questions from the panel, so we're going to move on to the public comment on the science review. So first up is Bert Wilson with the Public Water News Service, and then after that will be Doug OBG with NRDC. So please speak into the microphones, and just a reminder, these public comment are on the science review.
Okay. I thought it was okay. Hello? Hello? Okay. I've been a radio announcer for years, and I'd be glad if you wanted to hire me to do a class on mic technique for everybody. I was at home listening to this gentleman down here talk about the Clifton Court forebay, and it brought up to mind, I've always wondered, why do we have two forebays? And I asked Jason Peltier that about a year and a half ago at a BDCP meeting, and he said, because there's no fish in it. And I said, okay, so we have two separate forebays, one with no fish and the other, I guess, with all the crap that comes down through the delta. And then I got to thinking, that water is perfect for fracking. That's what the oil companies want for fracking. Right now, in Greeley, Colorado, water agencies are selling water to the farmers for $30 an acre foot. They're selling it to the oil companies for $3,300 an acre foot. Now, the Westlands Water District isn't going to fund this out of the goodness of their heart for the people of California. They want to make a profit, and the biggest profit they're going to make is getting that water down to Stuart Resnick, who owns the only privately owned water bank in California, and he's been selling the water to the oil companies for fracking in the Delta, and they want to go all the way up the Monterey Shale through the Delta to get that. And I want to know, as scientists, if you believe we must have two separate forebays, because this lends itself to all sorts of ripping the public off and at doing this at the expense of the public. I'm not going to ask you to respond to me. The other thing I want to say is it's just a little more consequential, is that the ICF, which is the consultants for the BDCP, say they are going to zero out the overpollution in the workplace in the Delta, and they're going to get it down to net zero. How are they going to do this? They say through offsets, but they don't explain what the offsets are. What they plan to do is buy carbon credits from the San Francisco Air Quality Management District and zero it out that way. But as you know, that zeroes it out on paper only. The fact of the pollution remains in the Delta. And the thing is, there's a moral imperative here. Are we going to support chicanery like this? Because there's only one word for this, and that's fraud. Zeroing out pollution on paper, but the workmen still have to go into the Delta where all the pollution is to accomplish their jobs. I hope you can do something about that. The BDCP, two former EIR, EISs have been trashed, and this third one should be too. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wilson.